Good afternoon and welcome to Bukku Training, Data Migration to Bukku. And I'm Danny, I will be your trainer for today. So in this session today, we'll be looking into a 1 hour session. And the focus for today will be we're going to import data into Bukku based on a sample company which was incorporated in 2023. So that means like you're migrating from an existing accounting software to Bukku accounting. So how you can import. So those are the things we're going to look into. And the main modules that you would need to import or migrate will be your company profile, your chart of account, context module, product and services, opening balances, historical transactions. So we'll look into what are historical transactions later on, fixed assets and initial bank reconciliation, right? And finally, we'll be jumping into Q&A session. I'll be addressing your questions, so you can post your questions in the Q&A session there, right? So jumping into our session today. Today, I have two Bukku accounts created here on my side. Okay. So one is you can imagine it as your existing accounting software. It could be a software A, software B, right? So whatever software it is. And then another part, it's like your freshly created new Bukku account. So in this session, we're going to look into how we can get all the transactions from your existing accounting software and import it into your new Bukku accounts, right? So what are the things that you would need from your existing accounting software will be, number one, of course, your chart of accounts. So if you guys can see in your chart of accounts, we got like all your chart of accounts which you have created. So chart of accounts are probably mostly are needed whenever you are creating any kind of like your sales transactions, your purchases, or whatever transactions you're creating in an accounting software. It is based on your chart of accounts. Okay, so this is one of most integral or important part of doing a data migration. Okay, so chart of account, so you need to make sure all of the chart of accounts are in an Excel sheet. Okay, so first of all, how you can import into Bukku will be using Bukku's Excel template, and then you can import into Bukku. So make sure all the data you're getting from your existing accounting software, you can have it in the Bukku's Excel sheet, and then you'll be able to import into your Bukku accounts. Okay, so chart of accounts, and then you would need your context module, so you can see all your contacts from your existing software. You need to make sure you have it in your Excel sheet. Okay, and also next up will be your product and services. So if you're having your products like you're selling some items, all those things, you need it in Excel sheet. And then if let's say you're providing services also, so your services also could be in your product and services listing in your existing accounting software that you can bring into your Bukku accounting. Okay, so product and services context. The next will be your opening balances. So opening balances, later I'll be talking into how you can actually bring in your opening balances, plus your transactions like your overdue transactions. So example, your outstandings. So those invoices or those bills that haven't been paid or you haven't received money from your customers, those are outstanding transactions. So those transactions also have to be imported into your Bukku accounting. All right, so make sure you get all these things in an Excel sheet based on Bukku's Excel template, and then you'll be able to import it into your Bukku accounts. All right, so now we have looked into your existing accounting software. So now let's jump into your new Bukku account which you want to import in. All right, so before you import you need to make sure that your company profile has to be up to date. So your company profile here means that your company name, your business registration number, all those things. Okay, so how you can actually update your company profile? You can actually go to your rocket button symbol here. So how do you will see this rocket symbol? So this rocket symbol will be available if, let's say, for example, you have newly created a Bukku account. So for the first 30 days free trial, you will be able to see this rocket symbol where you can click on it to see all the modules that you need to set it up in order to kickstart using Bukku. Okay, so these are the modules that you would need to set up. So example, your company profile, context module, products, chart of accounts, opening balances, and all these things. Company settings, there are some settings, but you can ignore it for your for the initial startups. But these are the things that you will need to set up in order to kickstart using Bukku. Okay. If let's say you are unable to see this rocket symbol, you have passed 30 days, but you still want to do data migration, yes, you can still do it. I'll show you the way how you can actually do the data migration. Okay. So the number one step in order to do a data migration will be company profile. You can either go to the rocket symbol, click on company profile, where the system will bring you into the company profile module for you to set it up. Or else, if let's say you can't see the rocket symbol, you can always go to this control panel on your left hand side, and you can go to this company profile here, and then it will immediately bring you to this company profile page. So what are the things that you would need to update in your company profile will be, of course, your company name. So example here, I've keyed in Bukku Sendran Berhad, and then your registration number, your business registration number. So you would need to key in your business registration number. So let me key in my business registration number. Okay. Other than that, you can see what are the modules that have that red color asterisk symbol. Those are the mandatory fields. And I believe you guys can see that there are two indicators here, the yellow color and also green color. So no need to worry about these indicators. These indicators are more of like for e-invoicing purposes. So if you are not complying for e-invoicing yet, then you can just ignore it. So just let it be yellow color, right? So green color means, let's say you have fulfilled that particular data field, then the system will just show you a green color. Okay, some of it will be showing yellow color because you never key in those informations yet. If let's say you are not complying for e-invoicing yet, then you can just ignore this. Okay. Then the next one will be you need to key in your phone number. So example, I'm keying in my phone number, right? And then if let's say you have your company address, you also can key in your company address. So all these things are your to set up your company profile, so that later on when you're issuing an invoice or any kind of transactions, your company's name will be in your letterhead when you're issuing the PDF invoice or a link or an email sending out from the Bukku. Okay. So let's say I'm keying in my address. Okay. And then I would select my country as well as my state. So I can click on default billing, as well as I can choose my company logo as well. So I can click on upload from device, then I choose my logo. Here it is. So within 2 to 3 minutes, you will be able to set it up, your company profile, and then your first step is done, right? So after company profile, the next immediate step, which is a very, very important step to do in data migration, will be your chart of accounts. All right. So how you can go to chart of accounts page will be, like I mentioned, you can go to this rocket symbol and then you can go to chart of accounts, or the other way will be you can just go to accounting module here on your left hand side and click on chart of accounts. Okay, so if you guys can see here, for a newly created Bukku account, there will be a predefined or pre-given chart of accounts for you guys to kickstart doing transactions in Bukku. Right. So for companies or like you're newly incorporated, you're totally new, or you don't know what is chart of accounts. So to help out you guys, we already provided something for you guys to use. So, but since we are talking about migrating from an existing accounting software, of course, you need to override all these informations because you already have your own set of chart of accounts that you need to bring in into your Bukku accounting. Okay, so I'd like to highlight something in our pre-given chart of accounts. Example, like you can find out that there are chart of accounts that has this lock symbol, and there are chart of accounts that don't have that lock symbol. What does it mean by this lock symbol? Okay, a lock symbol here means that particular account is associated with an automation inside Bukku. All right, example like this EPF control account or SOXO control account, these have some automations related to payroll. Example, you are like importing data from your payroll softwares like Kaki Tangan or Telenox into Bukku, then system will do auto posting of journals into this existing EPF accounts and SOXO accounts. So these accounts you won't be able to change it or you won't be able to delete it off because, as I mentioned, it is related to some automation. So you can just ignore it, just leave it like that. But those without the lock symbols, you will be able to override it or delete it. Okay. So how you can actually import in or you can migrate the chart of accounts into Bukku will be, of course, number one, you can click on new and then you can key in all those informations one by one. All right. But practically it is not it's not a good way, because you will have like a long list of chart of accounts on your hand from your existing accounting software. So the best scenario will be you can actually do an import account. Okay, so how you can import account is you can just go to this three dot button beside this new, click on import accounts, and then you can download the template file from Bukku. Okay, so this template file, I have downloaded a template file. I'm going to show you guys. So this is how the template file will look like. So we have given you instructions that you can follow, and based on that, you can key in all your chart of accounts listing in the Excel sheet to be imported into Bukku. Okay. So these are my chart of accounts that I'm going to import into Bukku. So I like to highlight something here. So you guys can see that there's this asterisk symbol. Asterisk symbol here means it's a mandatory field that you need to key in. Example like this type. Type means like what is the type of that particular account, whether it's a current asset, whether it's a liability, equity. So you need to indicate what account, what type of this, what is the type of this account in order for the system to identify it. All right. So we have given a drop down for you guys to choose for each and every chart of accounts. Okay. Number two, of course, the name. You need to indicate what's the name of that particular chart of account, and account code. So you also need to provide key in the account code of this particular each and every chart of accounts. So right, for example, in your existing software, probably like asset is like the number format will be starting with 1,000. Equity could be 3,000, sales or your revenues will be 5,000. All right, but in Bukku it works in a different way. We are very flexible that you don't need to follow that number sequences. You can actually have your own number sequences. You can predefine your own number sequences. Example, you don't want to follow that assets to be 1,000, then you can just change the numbering to 4,000, up to your own needs. Right, so you can have your account codes here. Once you have keyed in all your informations here, then you are ready to import in the informations into Bukku. Okay, but before we import into Bukku, I want to show you something. I have set up something differently in this chart of account, so that I want to show you what is the difference will happen if, let's say, you are importing in from the existing accounting software to Bukku. Okay, number one, if you guys can see here, I have this property, plant and equipment here, which the account code is 1,500. Okay, in my Excel sheet, I also have a 1,500 account code, but I have a name called PPE. A PPE is a short form for property, plant and equipment as well. Okay, so we're going to see what happens if, let's say, I'm going to import in the same number PPE into a Bukku accounting. So that means like I've already have an account with the account code 1,500. So what will happen? So we're going to see into that. Second thing is, we also have owner share capital here. So same thing here, we also have a owner share capital, but the name of that owner share capital is share capital. So the account code is for 4,050 share capital. Just the name is been in a capital letter. So we also want to see, like, if let's say the letters are in capital letter or short form, so how does the importing's gonna work? We're gonna look into it. All right. So apart from share capital, I also have the sales income account. So under the sales income account in my existing accounting software, this sales income account is a parent account and I have two subsidiary accounts under it. Right. So, but in my Bukku account here, I have sales income as well. But this sales income account is not a parent account. So it's like a standalone account. So we also gonna look into what's gonna happen if, let's say, in my Excel sheet, I have a parent sales income account. When I import in, what's going to happen to this existing sales income account. Okay, so to import in, you can just go to this three dot button, click on import accounts and click upload, and then choose your chart of accounts and click on open. Yep. So as expected, I can see an error message here. So why I'm showing this error message here, of course, when you're doing data migration, you will find out a lot of errors coming out. That is very normal. So you don't need to panic yourself. So I'm going to teach you how you really can find out what is this error about and how you can actually fix that errors. Okay. So if you guys can see, I got two errors here, line 44 and line 45. This line 44 and 45, you can find it from the Excel sheet. And what is this error about? So for this line 44 and 45, I have this error. The parent account selected is used and cannot be made as parent, it is used in product and settings. So that means I assume that this is related to parent. So that means it should be related to your sales income account. Okay, so line 44 is your sales income and sales product. That means it's related to your parent account. So that means if you have a parent and subsidiary account in your Excel sheet, but in your new accounting software or new Bukku account, there's an existing account, but it's not a parent account, then you'll have this issue. So what you need to do is you can just go back to your Bukku account since you have already found the error and also how to rectify it. You can actually go back and then for temporary purposes, because you won't be able to delete. Sorry, I forgot to mention something. Just now, if you guys realized, let me import in again. So just now, if you guys have realized, it mentioned that it is used in product and settings. So number one, this error is about the account you're trying to import is a parent account, and this same account, which the sales account, which is already available in your Bukku accounting, is used in your products module and also your settings module. That means it could be like used as a default account for your products, or in your company settings for some of the automations it is being used. All right, so you won't be able to delete this account off yet. So what is the solution for this is you would need to, for temporary purpose, you can actually rename this account. Okay, so later you can decide, after you rename, later you can decide what you're going to do with this particular account. So let me change the name to sales income old account and account code to 5000A. So I save it. So if you guys can see, it is now sales income old and 5000A. So our sole purpose here is to rectify the error and import in the data into import in the chart of account into Bukku first. Later you can decide whether you want to keep that account or you don't want to keep that account. I'm going to import in again, click upload, choose my chart of account Excel sheet, I click on open. So now you can see the error is no longer there and my accounts should be in. So you guys can see my parent account sales income and the subsidiaries account are in, and also my the existing account also is in. And also just now, like I mentioned, I have this property plant and equipment. See, what has happened is this same 1500 PPE has been updated. That means the same account previously was property plant and equipment, but it has been updated to PPE now. And secondly, I can see that there is the share capital also imported in. At the same time, I also have the owner share capital, right? So that is the case. So now I can scroll down. I can click on update to import in the accounts into Bukku. So now you can see all my chart of accounts are in. So after this, I can decide whether I want to keep some of the accounts or I don't want to keep that accounts. Example, like this share capital account. So in your existing software, you already used share capital as your account, as your chart of account. So probably you don't want to use this owner share capital anymore. You can do what? You can just click this three dot button, click on delete, and delete it off. Okay, while for this sales income account, the one which we have renamed, you won't be able to delete it off yet because this particular account is being used in your settings and products. So probably you need to change the default settings in your settings module and everything, and then only you'll be able to delete. But to be an immediately, if let's say you want to delete, you won't be able to delete, but you will be able to deactivate this particular account so that it won't appear in your chart of accounts anymore. So these are the things you can do in your chart of accounts after you're importing in, if you want to do any amendments to it. Right? So this is how you can import in your chart of accounts. So after you've done your chart of accounts, then the next step will be you would need to import in your context module. So to import in your context module, you can either go to this context on your left hand side, or you can just go to this rocket symbol, click on add contact. Okay, so it'll bring you to the same page. So in your context page, if you can see, I have a existing contact here. So we have provided a pre-given contact module. So some people want to kickstart immediately, want to issue invoices or what, you can just directly use this particular contact in order to issue your transactions. But other than that, when you want to import in your existing context module, you can just go to this three dot button in order to import. Okay, but not only import. So when we're coming to data migration, right, there is a few ways where you can migrate your data. Of course, number one, you can create one by clicking on new. The second way in Bukku is you can do a batch update. A batch update here will give you like 500 to 1000 contacts. You can actually update it at the same time, but you need to key in one by one all those informations inside this batch update. But of course, the easiest way is if you have all those information in Bukku Excel template, you can import in. So you click on import and then you can click to upload. So I have downloaded the template file for you guys. Let me show you. So this is how the context Excel sheet will looks like, the Bukku Excel template. So just like the chart of accounts just now, you'll have your instructions here. Okay, and also you'll have notes, what are the things you can do and you cannot do, and you can see all your information here. So the legal name, which is the customer's name, is a mandatory field because it has an asterisk symbol here. Okay, you also can key in another names for this particular context. And if you can see, there are other informations like, for example, this receivable account and also payable account. These are mandatory fields. Receivable account means for every customers you have, you need to assign a receivable account so that whenever you're issuing an invoice, the amount will be auto posted to this receivable accounts. And payable account means for any suppliers you are buying things or any purchases you are recording, that particular amount will be posted to the payable account. So these are mandatory fields as well. Okay, so if you, let's say, that is why I mentioned chart of accounts is the most mandatory or most important migration step in your migration before you migrating other things like your contacts or products. So chart of accounts always must be number one in your migration. So once you've done that, based on that, you can key in your receivable account code or payable accounts code. Okay, so other informations after you key in, you can always go back to your Bukku account, click on upload, right? And then you choose your contacts, Excel sheet, and click on open. So you guys can see that I got 10 records has been added, one record has been updated, and 0 records is ignored. So I also can view what are the 10 records. So I can see these 10 records are going to be newly created in this new 10 contacts. And there's one record, one contact has been updated. So just now I have cash sales. Could be that in my existing accounting software also I have this cash sales as well. So the same cash sales is been updated since both the softwares has the same contact. So it's just updating the same name. Okay. And then you can click on import records and you can see all the contacts available in your contacts module now. Okay, so up until now, what we are doing is we are just merely importing in the data, the names of that particular context module. So you guys can see that the payable amount or the receivable amount still empty, right? It's because we are not bringing in the value yet. So value we will be bringing in later on when we are doing the opening balances. Okay. So you guys can always go and view the context module. So you guys can see legal name is there. And like I mentioned also, you see payable account, it will be going to some of your accounts payables. All right. And if let's say it's a customer, then it will be showing your receivable account. So example, I got this customer, Alphabet Sundar Berhad. So it will be going to your account receivable. So that's about it. So you can import in your context module. So after context module, you also can import in your product and services. Okay, product and services like the items which you are selling or which you are buying, all right, or services you are providing to your customers. All those things you will be able to migrate it into your Bukku accounting as well. Okay, so product and services, it's a very simple step. Just click on product and services on your left hand side, or you can also rocket symbol, click on add products. It will bring you to the same page. Okay, so how you can import in, like I said, new to create one by one. You also can do batch update or you can click on import. So when you click on import, you can download the template file. So this is how the template file will look for your products and services. Okay, so you guys can see the instructions and the notes, and the name of the product is an important or mandatory field. You also can have SKU numbers. So let's say you for each and every product you're selling, there's an SKU number. Then you can key in your SKU number, and you also have this track inventory field, which is an important field as well. So track inventory here means you want to decide whether this particular item which you're selling, you want the system to track the inventory, whether whenever you are buying the item, the quantity should be counted in, or when you're selling the item, whether the quantity should be minused out. So those are the things will be tracked when you tick this track inventory. So you need to indicate whether yes or no. So usually when you will put no is whenever you are doing your services. So the products which you are selling, those will be counted for inventory. You need to know how much is coming in and how much is going out. But for services, usually you would not need to track your inventories, okay, because it's merely service. Okay. Other than that, all those informations like how much you are selling, whether you are selling the item, whether you are purchasing the items, you can indicate it inside this Excel sheet. And then once everything is done, then you will be able to import it into your Bukku accounting. So you can click on upload and then choose your products, the Excel sheet, click on open, and you can see 3 records has been added, 1 record has been updated. So what are the 3 records? You can see the accountant's mark, notebook, and website development has been added as a new product. And then 1 record has been updated. So this is the existing or available product that the system is updating back. Click on import, and you guys can see 3 products created and 1 product has been updated. So like I mentioned, the quantity is still empty because we are not bringing in any quantity or values in yet. We are just merely bringing in the names or the products that is available in your existing accounting software. Okay, so up until now, we have seen like company profile, updating your company profile, chart of accounts, importing in your chart of accounts, importing in your context module, and also product and services. So up until now, we have bring in all the names of the each and every datas. Okay, so after this, we're gonna look into how we can actually bring in the balances or value of each and every chart of account or your products or your customers. Okay, so that is what we call as opening balances. Okay, when we are talking about opening balances, how we can actually bring in opening balances into Bukku. So the opening balances, you can go to this rocket symbol, you can go to click on opening balances, and it will directly bring you to opening balances page. Okay, how if let's say after 30 days you won't be able to see this rocket symbol, how you can find the opening balances page is you can always go to this accounting page. Okay, you can go to chart of accounts and then click on this 3 dot button, click on opening balance, and it will directly bring you to this opening balances page. So for whoever here don't know what is an opening balance, an opening balance is basically the closing balance of your previous financial year that you brought forward to this financial year. So example, 31st December 2023, you're closing your financial year. And when you close your financial year, you will have your ending balance, right? That ending balance, you will use it as your 1st January 2024's opening balance. Okay, that is how. So for existing business, you will have every year, you will have your closing balance that you will use as your opening balance for the next year. For newly incorporated business, maybe like today only you have incorporated business, and in most scenarios, basically when you incorporate a new business, you will not have any opening balances. So you can straight away just start keying in transactions inside Bukku. The next year, the following year, then you will have your own opening balances for your company. Okay, so for existing businesses, you can bring in your opening balances by just keying in. So example, you close your financial year at 31st December 2023. So just key in 31st December, your closing balance 2023, and then key in your closing balances. So where you can get that closing balances amount usually will be from your audited report. So example, you're closing 31st December 2023 and your auditors has provided your trial balance, the audited trial balance to you guys, right? Just follow the same amount, key in back here. Okay, and then how you can key in into the system, the opening balances here will be, let's say for example, cash on hand, you got 100 based on your trial balance. So just key in 100, system will be able to detect whether it's a debit or credit. So if let's say you got no accounting knowledge or what, it's pretty simple. Just key in the amount, system will detect whether it's a debit or credit. Okay, but if let's say you don't want to key in one by one, then you can also import the opening balances. Okay, so like I mentioned, there are 2 scenarios. One is if let's say you are newly incorporated, you no need to key in these opening balances. If let's say you are an existing business on the dot, let's say 31st December 2023, immediately if you once you finish your financial year, you are migrating to Bukku accounting. Then you can always bring in your auditor report. just use the audited report to key in all those transactions. How you can import? Just click on this import opening balances button. Okay, download the Excel file in order to key in all those informations. So I have downloaded the Excel file. If you guys can see here, this is my Excel file which I can import into my Bukku accounting. You would need to key in your debit and credit amounts. So debit and credit amounts. So for those of you guys here who don't know what is debit and credit, you can ask the help of your accountant, or also, like as I mentioned, you can follow the trial balance, the audited trial balance, to key in all those informations inside this Excel sheet. Once everything is in, you can import into your Bukku accounting by click to upload, right? So I'm gonna choose my opening balance, click on open, and the balances will be imported in. Okay, so this is how your balances will look like. You guys can see that the balance is tally. Okay, before I click on save, I want to show you something here. If you guys can see at the top here, there is this outstanding stock, outstanding invoices, outstanding bills. Okay, what are these? So like I mentioned just now, outstanding invoices and outstanding bills are those invoices or bills that you haven't paid yet. Like in your previous accounting software, if you guys can see in your invoices module, there's overdue invoices, right? So this overdue or what we call as an outstanding invoices are invoices that your customers would need to pay you in a later date. So by the time when you're migrating from software, your existing accounting software to Bukku, the customer haven't paid you yet. But you need that information inside your Bukku accounting so that later when the customer pays, you can automatically know which invoice they pay and you can knock it off together with the payment. Okay, that is why you need to key in your outstanding invoices and outstanding bills based on the customer's name or the supplier's name. Okay, how about outstanding stock? Outstanding stock. So if you guys can see here, inventory, I have a value here, 9,000 something. So this 9,000 something is an accumulative value for all your inventories that you have on your hand. So probably in your warehouse, you have few stocks, maybe stock A, stock B, stock C, all right? Maybe you are selling shoes or shirts or something like that. You have like different items you are selling, but those different items are not indicated here. What is this 9,000 about? So 1,000 is basically maybe your shoes, maybe another 1,000 is your shirt, but it's not indicated here. To indicate that particular inventory items, you need to key in your outstanding stocks. So it's basically segregating lah. So this 9,000 belongs to what are the items, right? So those things you have to key in. Inventory is your outstanding stock. Account receivable is basically your outstanding invoices, and your accounts payable is basically your outstanding bills. Okay, so now when I click on save, what happens is it will bring me to this page where I will need to key in my outstanding stocks. Okay, so like I mentioned, I have my accumulated value of 9,053. So this is my opening. So I just followed my trial balance and then I keyed in my opening balance, it's 9,000. But how am I going to know which stock, how much is the amount, how much is the value? All right, you can always refer back to your existing accounting software. Okay, so when I go back to my existing accounting software, I can check my reports. So I can just go to reports and then I can check my inventory details report. So I will generate based on 2023. Sorry, I will check my inventory summary report based on 2023 because 2023 I'm migrating from the existing software, right? So up to December, I'll update. So I can see here that I got two items that I'm selling, and this is the final amount, the total amount. So I need to indicate what is my items which I have in my hand. Okay, so I can go back, then I can click on add item, then I can choose my item. So Bukku accountants mark, I have 955 quantity, and the pricing was 895. And another item I was selling is Bukku notebook, and the quantity which was available on my hand was 85 units, and you can see the amount tallies to the quantity and the price or the amount which I've keyed in here. Okay, so once it is tallied, then you can click on save, it will bring you to the next page, which is outstanding invoices. So outstanding invoices are those outstanding invoices the customers haven't paid you yet. How you can check? Same thing, you need to go back to your existing accounting software, check your reports. So you can always check your reports, probably your aging report, and then up to 31st December 2023. Example, I click on update. So based on 2023, I got two customers who haven't paid me yet, right? On 12th of December and also 20th of October. I can go back. I can click on add invoice. I can choose my customer. So Beta Sendar Merhad. The invoice number is IV00014. Okay. And then the amount will be 1620. So the second invoice, which is still outstanding, the customer haven't paid me, is Gamma Sendar Berhad, and the invoice number is IV00010. So I forgot to put in the date. So the date of that particular invoice is 12th December, and this one is October 20th, right? So the amount for the Gamma Sendar Berhad will be 2917.50 cents. So sorry. Okay, so the amount tallies now, and then I can click on save, right? So up until now, if you guys can see, I've keyed in one by one. All right, so why I key in one by one, I want to show you how you can actually key in one by one if you have less outstanding invoices or less outstanding stocks. But of course, if let's say you have a lot of outstanding invoices, a lot of outstanding bills, this is not so practical keying in one by one. That is why, if you guys can see here on top of this page, there is import file, a function called import file. So I also can import my Excel file into this outstanding bills, invoices, or outstanding stocks. Okay, just click on import file, download the template file, key in all those informations, and then you can upload it inside. So example, I have my bills, the outstanding bill. So I got like 3 suppliers who I haven't paid yet since 2023. So I've keyed in all those informations inside this Excel sheet, and then I can import in. I click on import, I click to upload, then I can choose my Excel sheet, click on open, and you can see automatically all those informations will be available under this outstanding bills. And you guys can see the amount also tallies back. Okay, I click on save and done. That's all. So the opening balance has been updated. Okay. So now we have justified for this inventory amount, what are the outstanding stocks? So what are the items related to this 9,000? Okay. And account receivable, what is the outstanding invoices? So if you guys can go back to the context module, so you guys can see. So 5,400, I haven't paid Alex Wong yet. So the amount now has been updated. Okay. Same goes for product and services. Now you can see the quantity is available. Just now it was 0, right? Now the quantity has been updated. Okay, going back to my opening balances. So I like to talk about another topic here. So just now I mentioned 2 scenarios, right? One is incorporated newly, you don't need to key in opening balances. Or the second scenario, you are migrating to Bukku account on the dot where you finish your financial year, you immediately migrating into Bukku account. But usually these scenarios very less it will happen, because some of you guys or most of them, they will migrate somewhere in the middle of the financial year. So example, your financial year ends at 2023 December, but you are migrating in June 2024. Okay, so if let's say you're migrating in June 2024, what do you need to do? So because you got like from 1st January 2024 up to June 2024, you got all your transactions in. How you can migrate all those things? So for this, you also can bring in your transaction. So up to 2023 December, you can key in all your opening balances and outstanding invoices. By the way, from 1st January up to 2024, whatever the transactions you key in your existing accounting software, you can compile it in Excel and import in. Example, so let's say I got my sales invoice transactions. Okay, so I go to sales invoices. I want to bring in my sales invoices, which I keyed in from January 2024 up to June 2024. So you can go to invoices, go to this 3 dot button, and then you can go to batch invoices. And of course, you can click on import. So download the Excel file from the sales invoices. I've downloaded the sales invoice. You can key in all the invoices which you have issued to your customer from January up to June 2024, and then import it into your Bukku accounting. Okay. So this is when you are migrating somewhere in the middle of the year lah. All right. So let me click on upload. Then I choose my sales invoice. Click on open. And you guys can see all the transactions I have performed from January up to June, it will be here, right? So you can just ignore the date first lah. So just imagine this is from 1st January up to June, and then you are importing in the transactions. So once you import, then all your transactions will be here. And starting from June, you can start keying in the transactions one by one from your Bukku after you're migrating all those things. Okay, but for this example, I'm not going to do the migration somewhere in the middle. So this is just for an example. Later you can try it out. So not only for invoices, you also can import all your data for your purchases, your payments, all those things you will be able to import in if you are migrating somewhere in the middle. Okay. So that's about it for importing in opening balances. So I've given you 3 examples, incorporated newly, migrating exactly at the point where you are shifting, at the point where you're closing a financial year. And the third example, I mentioned how you can actually migrate if you are migrating somewhere in your middle of your financial year. Okay, after you've done your opening balances, the next thing you can do inside Bukku, migrating inside Bukku, will be your fixed assets. Okay, so most of the accountants out there, so if you are handling fixed asset, or your accountant is handling a fixed asset, most of them, they will do what? They will key in all their fixed asset schedules, the depreciation amounts and everything inside an Excel sheet. And then later they will be updating back into as a journal inside their into their accounting software. But in Bukku, we already have a fixed asset module, and it's free to use. It's available in all the pricing modules. You no need to pay extra or what. So all your accountants, or even you, if you have your fixed asset, like you're buying a table or computer in your company, you can always key it in your fixed asset and then track your depreciation from there. Okay, so of course it's very easy to use in Bukku. You don't need to do any manual calculation. System will do a manual automatic calculation and post the journals automatically as well. Okay, the first steps in order to import in the fixed assets into Bukku will be, you need to register your fixed asset. So to register, you can do batch register. But before you do batch register inside your fixed asset, you will need to do one simple setting in your control panel, which will be going to control panel, asset type. Okay, so when you go to asset type, what is this asset type? It's for the system to recognize to which account I should do an automatic journal posting. Okay, so that is why you're gonna tell the system what are the types of this asset and what are the accounts that you need to post the journals to. So I need to create those asset types here. So at the moment, we don't have an Excel sheet to be imported into asset type. So you need to create one by one. So example, I got my computer equipments. Okay, so I got my asset type, which is my cost, computer equipments cost, computer equipment accumulated depreciation, and my expense account is computer equipments depreciation. So once you choose here, the below one, you can actually you can refer back to your accountants, because let's say you don't know what is your depreciation method, how much is your useful life, you can always refer back to your accountant. Click on save, and it will be created. So I also want to create one more, which will be furniture. So I can choose my furniture cost, furniture accumulated depreciation, and also furniture's depreciation account. So once you key it in, click on save. I got 2 asset types now. So once you're done, immediately you can go back to your accounting fixed assets module to import in the fixed asset data into Bukku. I can click on batch register. Same thing. I can do batch register. I can just create one by one, or I can click on import file to download the Excel sheet and then import into Bukku. Okay, so I have downloaded the asset file for you. So you can go to this assets. So I have keyed in all these informations of my fixed asset. So you guys can see I got my asset name like computer equipments and furniture, just same like I keyed in for the asset type just now, right? And I have the name of that fixed assets. I have my purchase date of the fixed asset, because when you're doing fixed asset, you need to know what is your purchase date of that fixed asset and what's the price you bought that fixed asset. Okay. And you need to indicate when does the depreciation starts. You could have bought it at on 1st of January 2023, but you are just migrating to Bukku account now only. Okay, in 31st December 2023. So you need to indicate when did you bought that item. Okay. Next, very important one is, since you're migrating to Bukku after you have used some other accounting software, right? So you also need to indicate how much you have depreciated that for that particular item. So probably like you already used for 1 year that item. So up until now, how much is the value has been depreciated? That one also you need to indicate in the Excel sheet, so that later inside Bukku system will do an auto calculation of the current value of your fixed asset. Okay, once you have keyed in all those informations here, you can import in. Click upload, and then you choose your fixed assets. Click on open. Oops, give me a moment. Delete these things. Okay, so you guys can see all the informations are here, and then I click on save. So two of my items I have registered inside my fixed asset module, and I have my current value. So the cost of the item is this. The current value of the item is this. So why it is showing the current value based on this? Because there was a partially depreciation amount. So that means you have depreciated the amount up to like December 2023. So the current value of the asset is this. Okay. You also can double check whether this amount is correct or not by going back to your existing accounting software. Go to accounting, fixed assets. You can see the current value is the same. Okay. The accounting, fixed assets, can see the value is the same. How if let's say you want to depreciate the asset, so maybe like 31st December 2024, you want to depreciate the asset, then just go to depreciate, choose up to which year, let's say 2024 December, and then you can click on depreciate, and the system will do the depreciation automatically for you. Okay, so fixed asset module is basically a different topic. We have different trainings where we can cover all these fixed asset modules. So this is like a high level idea for you guys. We do have this fixed asset module for you guys to do your depreciation or even your disposals as well. Okay, after the fixed assets migration done, then we come into the final step of your data migration, which will be initial bank reconciliation. Okay, what is a initial bank reconciliation? So initial bank reconciliation is basically a step where you need to tally back whatever the amounts in your closing balance in your bank statement, right? So that amount, your closing balance amount in your bank statement, should tally back to your accounting software, which is Bukku's bank balance. All right. So in order to do that, you can just go to bank, click on accounts, and then example, I got my public bank here. I got a value in my Bukku accounting, which is this. This amount, if you guys remember, we when we do the migration, when we imported the opening balance, this is the amount which was imported in. So this amount should tally back to your bank statement's closing amount. So that's why you need to do your initial bank reconciliation. To do that, click on reconcile, go to manual reconciliation, put in the date up to December 2023. Okay, and then you just key in back the same amount to your opening balance, I mean the statement balance. Tick, see balanced, and you can click on save. That's all. You can see the statement balance is the same as your current balance. Why you need to do that? Yes, of course, you need to tally back the amount. Second thing is your future reconciliation, your future bank reconciliation will be correct once you done your initial bank reconciliation, right? So yep, I have covered the whole data migration. So starting with company profile, updating your company profile. Second, updating your chart of account, which is a very, very important step doing the data migration. Number three, importing in your contacts, product and services. And then we saw how you can actually bring in your opening balances. And then we also see how you can actually import in your fixed asset module. And also, finally, we saw how you can do your initial bank reconciliation. Okay, so once we have done this data migration, we need to verify whether our informations which we have imported is correct or not. How you can verify the informations whether it's correct or not is always checking back your existing accounting software's reports. So you all, even though if you are not using anymore using your existing accounting software, you would have you have downloaded the reports from your existing accounting software like balance sheet or P&L. You can double check with that. So example, in my current Bukku accounting, once I've done migration, I can check my balance sheet. So let's say up to December 2023. So these are my balances, right? These same balances should be in my existing accounting software balance sheet as well, right? So let's say I go to December, click on update. So I guess can see that I got my PP here, same thing, 4,418, same amount. So you can double check all these things, okay? And I have my amount. So this is how you can double check, verify whether all your data which you migrated is correct or not, or the values you migrated is correct or not. So I also can check my balance sheets as well, your P&L as well. So I can put in my date as 1st January 2023 up to, let's say, 31st December 2023. How much is my value? So the same amount should tally back with your reports as well in your existing accounting software. All right. On update, so the same amount should tally back to your current Bukku accounting after you done all your data migration. Okay, so that's about it about data migration. Another point I want to highlight here is this is if let's say you're migrating from an accounting software to your Bukku accounting. We do have some migration tools on our hand lah. So if let's say some accounting softwares, we do have like an API integration. We can do an auto migration with like small charges. You can always refer back to us, and then we can tell you like what are the softwares we can do the auto migration for you guys. Okay, and also if you guys want to reach out to us, right, you can always reach out to us through this green color icon here. Okay, you can send us a message. My support team will be replying you within 15 minutes. This is how the fastest way you can reach out to my support team if you have any product based questions or what. And other than that, let's say after working hours, after 6 o'clock or 5:30, right, you want to know some answers for your questions. So example, you want to know how to enter an opening balances. We have all the articles available. So you can just click on it, and then the step-by-step guides all will be there for you guys to refer. Okay, we do have also like short videos. So example, like some of you guys want to know what is e-invoicing. So you can just click key in e-invoicing, and the articles related to e-invoicing will be there. So you no need to worry if let's say you are unable to reach our support team or what, all the articles are available there, step-by-step guides. You can just refer to that. Okay, so by that, I'm finishing my data migration training. So let's jump into Q&A session, right? All right, so after migrating bank receipts and payments, will it link to those sales invoice and bills paid? It depends. So when you're migrating, right? This I think you're talking about migrating transactions specifically. So when you're migrating transaction, that one also have few steps, right? You need to migrate the invoices first, then only you need to migrate the payments. Okay, so you cannot migrate your payments first, then you migrate your invoices. So it has to be step by step. The source document has to be there, which is the invoice, and then only the payment has to come next. So then it will knock off automatically. Okay. Besides that, the bank reconciliation we need to redo. Not necessarily. If you have done your bank reconciliation, your existing accounting software, in your new one, just do the initial bank recon, and the next bank reconciliation you can do on a regular basis. Is it possible to customize reports using different templates based on the available information, by pulling the specific data needed from the selection? Hi Vivian. No, not at the moment. Our reports are not customizable at the moment. There are a few things you can customize, like example, like you want to change the name or you want to have a remarks. Those things you will be able to do. But other than that, customizing specific customization is not available yet in Buku. You're welcome. If you guys want this recording of our training, you can just refer to my the chat here. You can request from my support team if you want the recording to look back into this training. Hey guys, I'm still waiting. Got any questions? You can just ask me. If you guys are unclear of some of the parts which I mentioned just now. Yep. Hi Tiha. Can we integrate our POS system with Bukku so that daily invoices will be? Yes, you can integrate. So currently we are integrated with StoreHub and FeedMe. So these two you can connect inside Bukku and the transaction daily transaction will flow into Bukku. On the other hand, if you are using some other POS system, since we are not integrated with some other POS system, we do have an open API that you can pass it to the POS system so that they can integrate with Bukku. Hmm. Hmm. Hi Janet, I think you're raising your hand. You want to ask any question? Just drop the question in the Q&A box. Hmm. Hi Janet, I think you're still raising your hand. Yep, you can post your questions in the Q&A box here. Uh, Mr. Trimax, please request the recording from our support team here. I won't be able to drop the email personally, so you can just ask my support team to provide you the recording. Welcome, Mr. I haven't start account opening with Bukku. Can I have the meeting record to my email? Yeah, yeah, you still can have. So if let's say you don't have a Bukku account, right? You also can chat with my support team from our website itself. Okay. Same thing, we'll have the green color icon on your left hand side here. So you can check it out from there. You can chat from there, yeah? Welcome. Hey guys, I got 1 more minute. So if you guys have any question, just put it down here. Hi Tia, how about bank? Yeah, possible to link bank feed in Bukku? Yes, we are already connected. We have a bank feed with Maybank. So you can just go to bank accounts, go to bank feed here, can connect your Maybank here. So right now we have bank feeds with Maybank lah. Other than Maybank, we have smart reconciliation. For other banks, you can just drop in your PDF bank statement, right, which you are downloading from the bank's portal itself. Just upload your PDF bank statement, and system can do automatic bank reconciliation for you as well. You're welcome, Tia. Okay, guys, I think that's all the time we have today. So if you guys got any question, like I mentioned, just refer to my support team. They can help you out. See you guys in next training. So if you guys want to check out other trainings, you can refer to my support team. There are other trainings as well you can join. So until then, thank you very much for joining.